on 10 of 14 shooting.
Wow.
And it was a 14-point lead for the Raptors. It was cut to 1. It is up to 9 at the break. And we welcome you to the American Express Halftime Report. Studio J here in Atlanta. Ernie Johnson. Shaq's here. Kenny's here. Chuck is here. Just before we get to the pictures, just give me your take on the first half.
Kawhi Leonard has so much confidence against his team. I was surprised Siakam had that much confidence, but it's clear to me that Kawhi Leonard he's just like, I'm better than anybody here, and there's nothing they can do. It's a really cool place to be as a player.
Leonard's got 27. Siakam's got 22 in the first half, Jet.
Wow. I think overall, if you look at their team, you know, this is the difference that Philadelphia can't play at the pace that they want to. They're not used to it.
Nobody coming.
Nobody coming.
Just got you thinking.
Okay, it's the difference between what they're accustomed to facing. So you have Tobias Harris out here and Danny Green on them. So normally when you come and you make this pick and roll here, you're able to make this pass and freeze it here. This is normally a jump shot or an opportunity for Jimmy Butler to rise over the defense. But when Siakam's here, as we roll it, you see the size and the length and doesn't allow him to get that shot off. Freeze it here. And you got size and length, and all of a sudden Marc Gasol, if you look at Boban, you say, man, Boban usually makes everyone look small, not Marc Gasol. So all of a sudden he comes off, you get back in place, and size and length doesn't let you get the shot off. Freeze it here. Yeah, Ennis, you think you got size and length on you again? The size and length of Kawhi Leonard, too much for him. Boban, you're not big. You're not big against Gasol. You just can't block it in. Let's get the steal. Let's make something happen. Ball's out of bounds. We got a turnover. 24-second shot clock. Great. But on the other side, there is no size and length against him. So now you have the ability to just rise over the defense. Most time, this would be difficult for most players. Freeze it here. But right here, Leonard says, no, too small. I'm good. Soon as Boban retreats, because he's got to retreat to the three-point shooter at some point, and I'm going to be able to get my shot off easily. Same thing here. Siakam says, nope, I don't need it. Nope, I'm good. I'm going to get into the position I want to, because why? Too little. These guys are not big enough, not tall enough, don't have the length to defend us, or we have the length and size to guard them. Tough series for Philly. This is going to be tough for Philly. This might, it don't look good.
61-52, the halftime score. Leonard and Siakam combining for 49.
Wow.
Of the team's 61 points. No bench points in the first half.
They didn't do it.
I know, I'm just looking at it. No bench points.
19 for 25.
You got that 1-2 punch.
They might not have missed.
Yeah.
They almost didn't miss.
10 out of 14 for Kawhi, 9 out of 11 for Siakam. Tell me about Philly. Tell me about Embiid.
Well, in this era, when people say we're going to play physical, that means one thing. We're going to make it tough for you to get to your spot. We all know Joel Embiid is an inside player. So you just have to get deep. You can't let a guy push you to your spot, because when you push you to your spot, he wants you to do this. We want you to shoot that jumper. And right here, same thing. That's not deep enough. You know, he has great size, great ability. I need you to get a little deeper. And, you know, Chuck knows this. When you play against a guy that's pushing, all you got to do is go quick. Right, Chuck? All you got to do is go quick. See, right here. Look, right here, get it, go quick. Boom, make a move, go quick, be decisive. Doesn't matter if 1, 2, or 3 guys are coming. And right here, you know, just be aggressive. You have that ability, but he's going to have a big game. I would like him to have the same numbers I'm looking at from Kawhi and Pascal, 27-22. Let me see, Embiid, 12 points, not good enough. Ben Simmons, 10 points, not good enough on the road. They're going to have to step it up in the second half if they want to steal one of these games.
Well, yeah, 10, 6, and 2 for Simmons, only 1 turnover in the first half for Ben Simmons.
To me, I said before, this is going to be Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler. They're going to have to make a dent in the game, because right now, Siakam and Leonard, they are mismatched for anybody. They have supreme confidence. But, man, Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. Tobias got 12. He's playing well. But Jimmy Butler, and they might or they got to pick it up defensively. I mean, because these two guys, man, you can't let guys shoot 80% on you.
Oh, I think it's about 86.3%.
How about Jay?
90.
How about, speaking of making a dent, how about J.J. Redick not denting the scoreboard?
Oh, they got him on lockdown.
No, 0 on 0 for 4.
They got him on lockdown.
Yeah, this is what those Celtics did to them.
That's exactly what he's doing, Keith Pompey. That's exactly what he's doing.
Please do not try that at home. Back with more on the American Express halftime
I'll try
report.
it if you get a wash machine.
Just
I'll
a
do
second.
it.
I know you will,
Eric,
but you're not at
Give us a
home.
wash machine. I'll do it.
Welcome to the American Express halftime report. American Express, the official card of the NBA.
All right, the Eastern Conference semifinals begin in Toronto, while the Western Conference first rounder ends in Denver. It's TNT NBA tip-off presented by Auto Trader. From Atlanta Studio J, Ernie Johnson with Shaq and Kenny and Charles. This is going to be a fun night. Bottom of the hour, Sixers and Raptors playing game one in Toronto. Spurs and Nuggets, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Game 7, followed by Inside the NBA. Now, the Sixers and Raptors took similar paths to the Eastern Conference semis. They both lost their openers at home, then ripped off 4 straight wins. They're both top 5 in field goal percentage and assists in the postseason. They both have star power, and they both have players who will ensure a huge TV rating in Cameroon, where the Sixers' Joel Embiid and the Raptors' Pascal Siakam were born. Ian Eagle and Greg Anthony will have the call. Rosgold on Woody works the sidelines, and RGO standing by live in Toronto. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Hi, guys. How you doing? Hey, Jay. A lot of love to the Cameroonians and the Africans representing on the court. One of them, Joel Embiid, and we know how he's battled with left knee soreness all through the first round of playoffs. Well, it's the same story. In the first round, he played about 24 minutes a game. He said today at shoot-around, he's expecting even more time and even more load, and because he knows he has his hands full with Marc Gasol, and that is one of the marquee matchups of this series between Joel Embiid and Marc Gasol. And EJ, one thing is for certain. Joel Embiid will not be calling Mark a nobody, as he infamously did against Jared Dudley in the last series against Brooklyn. He told me he has a lot of respect for Marc Gasol, not only because he was a former Defensive Player of the Year, he said, or because he watched how he was the face of the franchise for the Memphis Grizzlies, but he said the two of them have a relationship, and sometimes Marc Gasol will even reach out and text him and give him a little bit of advice or feedback for things he's doing on the court. Now, yesterday, I sat down with Marc Gasol, and he too is very impressed with Joel Embiid, but he felt one area that he could assert himself was defensively with his physicality. And I asked Mark, where, when, how can you be physical with Joel Embiid? And here's what he had to say.
Every time you cross half court is a matter of fighting for real estate all over the floor. If it's at the elbow, the post, sending pick and roll and a rebound, it's kind of a whole battle. I mean, it's kind of basketball, and you just make it stand and try to fight it, and hopefully offensively you can go at him a couple times, which make him work.
Another aspect to handle with Joel Embiid is his mouth. He likes to talk, to trash talk, to annoy, to troll. And so I asked Marc Gasol, will you engage in that with Joel? And Marc said to me, I don't hear trash talk. In fact, trash talk is not really a part of his game. He said, if anything, he'll talk to himself to get himself going. So this battle, it may not be vocal, but it'll definitely be physical. Guys?
Rosgold on Woody from Toronto. Fellas, that is certainly a matchup to watch, but when we first knew this was going to be the series, the thing we talked about, Charles, was Ben Simmons, Kawhi Leonard, their history in the regular season, in which Kawhi Leonard only played 3 games. They won them all, but he was a pain to Ben Simmons.
He's obviously the best two-way player in the NBA. And Ben Simmons, the advantage Kawhi has, he don't have to respect Ben Simmons' jump shot. So he's really got 2 defenders. He's a great defender. I mean, 8 turnovers
per game. Yeah, 24 in those 3 games.
Man, that's crazy.
That's a lot.
But see, Kawhi has an advantage. Number one, he's a great defender, but also, and Kenny knows this, if you're playing against a guard who can't shoot, it really helps you play defense. You really got 2 defenders.
You can hone on. You can hone in. The one thing that Kawhi is able to do, again, is he's probably one of the few guys who has the size to play out front and have the same quickness. Typically guys that are guarding Ben Simmons, either he's going to have a quickness advantage or he's going to have a size advantage. Against Kawhi, he doesn't really have a size advantage, and he definitely doesn't really have a quickness advantage. So now the lack of jump shot makes you difficult to get your stuff off, get in your bag if you're Ben Simmons. Because the other thing, Shaq, is like when I used to play against Muggsy Bogues, he was such a great thing, but he wasn't a great shooter. And they used to say, play off him. I was like, no, if you play off him, then you make him great. You make him a passer. But no, so what Kawhi does, he takes up the space, and Marcus all talked about real estate. He takes it up, and he says, no, I'm not going to let you see things, and I'm quick enough to stay with you and long enough to block your shot possibly.
And not only that, if he jams him up, he could drive him to the help. Like, Charles said, he's playing against two defenders. But he's definitely in his head. But, Ben has to get through that. And this is the time, like you always say, you make your fame. We all know who Ben Simmons is. But if you want to go to the next level, he has to get through Kawhi. And the battle of the big men, I used to like when big guys say what they was going to do, but he makes a good point. You got to be physical with Joel Embiid. The question is, after he's physical with Joel Embiid, will he do what me and you hate, Chuck? Will he stay out there and shoot threes, or will he fight? If he fights, they'll win. If he don't fight, I'm with Toronto.
Well, I actually think this was a great under-the-radar pickup, Marc Gasol, because Marc Gasol is one of the few guys, when he's standing next to Embiid, doesn't look small. Like, normally you see Joel Embiid, like when he play against Al Horford, you just like, man, that's a big old dude. But Marc Gasol's size, he's over 7 feet tall. He's a good weight. So that's going to be a great matchup. And listen, Joel Embiid going to have to play more than 20-some minutes if Philly got any chance in this series.
By the way, Kawhi Leonard, 13-0 in his career against the Philadelphia 76ers.
That's crazy.
10-0 as a Spur, 3-0 in the games that he played.
That's a crazy stat.
As a Raptor. And also, Philadelphia has lost 13 games in a row in Toronto heading into this series. And another one of those things, and something's got to give. Philadelphia just overpowered Brooklyn, 122 points a game. Against Orlando, the Raptors held them to 92 points a game. Where's this one going to fall? Is Toronto going to be able to control these guys to some extent? Philadelphia shot 50% over their last 4 games.
Toronto will, because Kawhi is going to be all over Ben. Mark's going to be all over Embiid. The others are definitely going to step up. But a lot of times, if the superstars don't get the others going, you really don't have a game plan. And Kawhi is that type of guy. He really, Chuck's been saying this. I've been saying it. He's definitely a superstar. They are at home. He's going to have them playing well. I like Toronto in this series because Philly hasn't proven that much to me yet.
Well, if Philly, I picked Toronto to win the series also. But if they're going to win this series, it's going to be Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. Those are 2 guys. Siakam is a problem.
Big problem.
He's a big problem. But if Philly, because like I say, I think they're going to be able to control Embiid and Simmons. The wild cards are Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler. That, in my opinion.
And this is why I think that they're Kawhi Leonard's 13-0 against them. Because if you think about it, if you were playing against a Steve Nash team, no matter what happened, you had to play fast. You played against a Jason Kidd team. You had no how you play against a Rajon Rondo when he was at Celtics. He forced the pace. You played against Ben Simmons. You had to play at a certain pace. Kawhi Leonard says, no, you're not playing at
my pace.
You're going to play at my pace because I could defend you, and now I can make it difficult for you to play at that pace.
I have the sticky notepad out. Chuck, you got Raptors?
Yes, sir.
You got Raptors in how many?
7.
Raptors in 7. Kenny, you've got?
Raptors.
In?
5.
Damn.
Shaq?
Raptors.
And he gonna
Do I have to say in to everybody?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, I was just being polite. You said to them.
Raptors in. All right. Okay. I thought you might say Raptors
boom,
in.
Look, boom,
Okay.
bam,
All right.
boom, bam. I thought you were going to hit me with the boom, bam. Raptors in 6.
Raptors in 6. And I've got.
Trying to be polite, Mr.
And I've got the Raptors in 6.
I appreciate
it's
your
unanimous.
answer. I was just being polite.
Okay, guys, let's get ready for
apologize to
the
Sharon.
greatest words in sports.
That was mine.
Game 7.
Yes.
Ernie, I've been loving you since 19.
I know. That was my bad. I was out of line. I apologize.
It's all right. You don't have to apologize.
We'll take a look at San Antonio and Denver Game 7 when we come back.